worry about the length on these.
That's what she said.
On these.
Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Mixed Review. It's all for the content. I'm Dave.
Brian?
And this week we have a couple albums to review. Brian, what album did you give me?
I don't know what it's called.
Yes!
It's a bunch of French words and I have no idea.
Omelette du fromage.
Yeah, that could be. It could be it, yeah.
Fuck. No, it is a French album by the band Alcest.
It's,
It's
Alcest.
Les Voyages de l'âme.
I have no
De
idea.
l'âme? De l'âme?
Did you look up what it means?
I did not.
I didn't either.
So much for research.
Yeah, I kind of dropped the ball on that one.
I actually did listen to the album.
But it is a French album by a French
Makes
metal band.
More or less.
I guess, yeah.
It has a...
And
Then the album I gave you was...
it's Mirrorland by Earthgang.
Yeah, so if you watched our first episode, give it a little backstory. I am into hip-hop a little bit more than Brian is, whereas Brian's a little bit more into the metal scene and rock and things like that. So what we like to do on Mixed Review is kind of swap albums of things that we enjoy and have each other review it and kind of go from there. So
Yeah, because we're pretty open-minded, and like especially if you watched our last episode, you definitely know that. But we just want to expand our horizons and hear new stuff, and
we want to share that with you all.
yeah, and we're obsessed about music, so we just want to talk about it for sure.
So let's get into it. So to decide who goes first to review, we have tried and true rock, paper, scissors. So
Yeah.
it's always on 3.
Well, it's on shoot.
On shoot, yeah.
Yeah.
Victory.
So you get to decide who's going first.
I'll go first.
Oh, the old curveball, eh?
Jesus to receive.
Okay. So
Okay.
let's go.
So I did not a lot of research, but so Earthgang is a hip hop duo from Atlanta, Georgia. They debuted around 2008. This is their third album. Came out in September of last year. Well, like third
Studio,
like
release, yeah.
long, and I actually really liked this album
Okay.
overall. So overall, I did like this album a lot. Like I said, it was a lot different than the Duckworth album. It was funny because you were saying that you thought I would like this way
I figured
more.
you would like this more than the Duckworth album, but
Why?
Why? So after reviewing the Duckworth album with you and kind of getting your insight into how it's a little bit darker, it's a lot shorter. Even though Mirrorland isn't that long.
Yeah, that's like 55 minutes.
Okay, long in the grand scheme of things when you're looking at like metal albums. Not that long, but what is it? 12 tracks, I think.
I think 12.
Yeah, around 12, 13 tracks.
Yeah.
The reason I thought you would like this more, and obviously you're going to go into your review of it,
Right.
but to me, it's very Outcast influenced.
Right, and you can because they're also from Atlanta. Right?
They are, yeah. So you can definitely kind of pick up on that. But in maybe I was being a little biased because I like it a little bit more.
Mhm.
I love the Duckworth album by nothing to take away from that, but for some reason I just really dug this album.
Right, and it could be one of those things over time where like, or maybe like if I listen to other releases from them, maybe it'll grow. And like I said, it's still I liked it a lot. Like I said, especially what I noticed about this was that it was so experimental.
Yeah.
It was all over the place, but it didn't. It was still had a cohesive sound, you know.
Yeah.
So you could always tell it was them, even though there was so many different approaches on different songs, but it was super creative. And
For sure.
it was super catchy It's super
very upbeat, very
right.
Like,
well,
I don't know,
but like not even all of it though.
No,
like,
yeah,
because that was the one thing that I noticed too is like there's like it starts off real energetic and real high, and then towards the middle, which actually ends up being my favorite. My favorite songs are in the middle.
Okay.
So that's where
Really excited to hear which ones.
Yeah, they get like a little bit more introspective and a little bit more serious and that kind of stuff. That ended up being my favorite part of the favorite section.
Which for like some of their like for their discography isn't like really them, you know, like there is some introspective stuff on, you know, and like, you know, just like a normal hip hop album, you know, you have your ups and downs and things like, but with this especially as opposed to like some of their other EPs that they put out, which are a lot shorter, so they're a lot more to the point, a lot more upbeat, you know, kind of poppy, kind of, you know, jumpy, if you will. But this does have a lot more inflection on it than some of the
a lot more personality, like you know, like personal you know, content
stuff,
but at least it is like from the first song with that like little interlude with the wing order, which like I know it's kind of like probably just like a callback to Atlanta, you know, but people that order like that are my fucking nightmare.
Yes.
It's a fucking nightmare. I was like, I'm gonna see this in my dreams. I'm like, I hate people.
It's
like
great because it's like a satirical look at it, like 100%. It's like because that's just how it is in the fucking South. You know what I mean? Like when you listen to the album, you'll get what it is. But pretty much the album starts out with a girl. She's doing like an order, and she's just a fucking nightmare.
And she orders like 1,000 wings.
Yeah, it's fucking it's hilarious.
Sounds delicious.
But then the cool thing is though is like it still fits because like as they go out of it, it goes right into like a really upbeat,
very like,
you know, part of the song.
I don't even know what you call that. Like it's like the
like I think
it's
bouncy.
Yeah,
I think that's actually a good term for it. But like I said, it actually it kind of like it was off-putting at first because of like that. Like I said, those people are fury that much. So I'm like, I have to avoid this song. But I listened to it a couple more times, and I liked it more. The rest of the song was better. But one thing I noticed about this album too that I liked was sometimes I liked it, sometimes I didn't. There was a lot of like vocal repetition, like so like with the like the choruses.
Some of the choruses are just
and like even just regular vocal lines in the song. Like a lot of times like they just kind of like repeat and really get stuck in your head. The one time, so there's actually only one song that I can say I didn't really like. Okay. So that's pretty good, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
And that was Proud of You.
Okay, I can see that. That's the one.
That's on 2K, and I fucking can't stand it.
I can't. It was like
it's probably nothing against any hip hop heads out there, but it's probably the Slim Thug.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it was all like it was even just
Thugga is an acquired taste, if you will, when it comes to
say.
When it comes to hip hop. So,
and it wasn't even necessarily just his part.
It's just a repeating.
But like I didn't like even just the vocal. Just the vocal line in general. I just didn't like it at all. It was like grating on my ears. Like I just didn't like it at all. The rest, like musically, the song is fine. You know, it's cool. But if I had to pick a least favorite, that's definitely it.
Okay, most favorite.
I would say probably Swivel.
Oh, okay. Explain.
Swivel and maybe this side.
Okay, yeah.
So Swivel, I liked it because it almost gave me like a doomy feel because it was real somber and the tone was so different than everything else. And it was just like somebody who was like in the midst of like mourning almost, like, you know, like the way that they were talking about people who were gone and that kind of stuff and wishing they were still there. And I don't know. I guess I have a penchant for sad music or sadder sounding music or like melancholy-ish kind of. I've
something with feeling to it.
Yeah, I'm learning that more and more. So that song definitely stuck out to me. But then also I did like this side a lot. That was probably the one that got stuck in my head the most. But I liked again, it had more like introspective lyrics and but it was kind of promoting like an overall positive thing, and I like that too. And that was one of the features I liked. I didn't look it up. Whoever the woman was that was in that song, it had like a real ethereal quality to it. It was, I and like there's bass grooves all over this album too that are awesome. They're so groovy.
Yeah. I don't know who the.
Yeah, it didn't say. We could find it, I'm sure, but just in general, I liked that feature a lot, and I liked that song. I liked Tequila a lot. That song is super fun.
Really? Okay, that's surprising because that's one with T-Pain.
Yeah, and it's completely different.
It is,
and it comes right after like the somber songs.
Yep. And then it kind of goes back up the hill and the kind of bouncy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the couple towards the end, they were good, but they didn't stand out to me.
How do you feel about Blue Moon? Do you remember that one?
I did like Blue Moon because it gave me Tribe vibes.
Yeah.
Okay,
good. Because that's my favorite song on the whole album.
Okay.
By far, favorite track. I don't know why that song just really stood out for me, and that's a song that made me want to give you the album listen to.
Okay. Yeah, because you found out that I liked
Tribe. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did like that one a lot. I love the horns in it and stuff. The beat was freaking awesome.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, so like the other ones, they were like like stuck. Like it had a cool bass groove and it was catchy, but it didn't really stand out to me too much. Trippin' was groovy. Like
Trippin's kind of
groovy. Yeah. Didn't really stand out. And Wings is cool.
So real quick on Wings,
but...
do you know like it's like cylindrical?
Oh,
Wings, so it comes around to the order.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's.
And I think it was on. I think it was on Trippin', or maybe there's another song in there. There's like a minute gap of no time. Like
yeah, I don't know. Artists, nah. I don't know. Yeah,
so, no.
You just don't understand.
Yeah. It's art.
You don't get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so overall, I actually liked it a lot. I did listen to it a bunch.
Okay. Really? You
yeah.
like revisit it and like.
Yeah. Took a little bit of a break, but
we're
back. So. But no, I actually liked it. I dug it.
Solid. Good.
Are you still surprised at
No, not with you like digging into it and kind of telling me which songs you liked from it. It makes more sense why you like the Duckworth more, which is understandable.
Well, and it's not even like
it's not like
this.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. It definitely has some highs and it has some weird lows. Like Proud of You is like a very polarizing song.
Man.
Very polarizing song.
I can promise you I'll never listen to that song again.
Okay.
Every time
I have to sneak that in. Yeah, I have to sneak.
Every time it comes on, two guys miss every shot.
Right. So
song's a trap.
I'm not proud of you.
No, absolutely not.
Awesome.
But I will listen to this album again. Absolutely.
Good. And then for people who have never listened to Earthgang or kind of getting into hip hop, would you suggest it?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're like me, where even if I haven't been seeking out hip hop or R&B or any kind of music like this, you still probably know who Alcest is, and even if you enjoy Alcest at all, which who doesn't? Yeah, I mean honestly, then you'll find a lot to like on this album for sure.
So yeah, awesome.
Right. How about
for the Alcest album,
it's a little bit more challenging.
Again, the name of the album is Les Voyages de l'âme.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody out there speaks French, or if you have Google Translate, if you just want to put that in the comments section, what the hell it means,
appreciate it.
we can look that
Since
up.
we do not actively
Since we don't have the internet.
Yeah, I mean we don't have like 10
no,
devices.
we listen to these on like vinyls and things like that.
Yeah.
So okay, so this is a French band. What was the genre? Has a very specific. It's like heavy. Like what's it called?
So they basically pioneered a genre or a subgenre.
Subgenre, yeah.
And the metal douchebags will be like, it's not metal. It's not metal. It's but
Scarlet sucks.
but like
atmospheric kind of.
You know who Deaf Heaven is?
Mm-hmm.
So Deaf Heaven exists because
of this band. Okay.
So they took black metal, which is like the blast beats and like the fast guitars and the atmosphere guitars and stuff like that, and mix it with like the post-rock shoegaze.
Yeah, kind
stuff.
of very.
So the really awful subgenre name is like black gaze.
Black gaze.
That's what they don't claim it, but that's what people call it. Or
GAZE. Black gaze.
Yes.
We don't need no cancel culture. We don't need to get canceled on our second episode.
Listen,
Black
Ubisoft can be forward.
That. Go check out that the episode, the list.
Shout out to callback.
Sure.
But yeah, so shoegaze plus black metal or like post metal, so it's like the atmospheric vibes and stuff like that, and the real happy textures and all that shit.
I just call it
It's-
black shoe metal. Gazing.
This is why you're off camera.
Yeah, right. So overall, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it.
Mhm.
To dig into a little deeper,
More awesome song titles.
some great, awesome song titles.
Because it is all, it's 100%
Les
French.
Couleurs Nouvelles. I am butchering that, but it's the second track. It's the second track on the album. The first track is pretty short, and it's kind of a build up to it's like an interlude. It builds up to the entire album. It is all in French.
100%.
100% French, which isn't a problem. I don't know what the hell they're saying, but it sounds good. It's medley. It sounds medley.
Well, you can still feel the emotion. Like, the emotion's there.
Yeah. By and far, favorite song is Havens, which is closer to the end. The album is 8 songs, 50 minutes, so it's not that long in the grand scheme of metal albums by any means.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact there's a lot longer ones. I was looking at some of their other albums as well. This is their 3rd studio album, I believe.
I think that's about
Yeah.
it.
This one came out in 2012.
It's my personal favorite of theirs.
This one is? Okay. So let's see. They have 5 total, right?
I think it's 5.
Yeah,
I think
so this is kind
their
of
5th one
midway,
came
yeah.
out last
Last year, yeah. Real quick, before we dive any further, what made you choose this? Because with the first one, with the prog metal, and it was the sax and shit like.
So the reason why I picked that one, like because I love it, I do love it,
Yeah.
and it is one of my favorite albums. But it was also I wanted to like really get out of your like any wheelhouse that you thought you had.
Way,
Yeah. And,
way out.
This house has no wheels.
Yeah,
right. It's gone. But really just to really give you something that I don't think I've ever shown you before,
Mhm.
and that I don't think you've ever really.
Because we share, like before this, we share a lot of music. We
Yeah.
send each other tons of
almost
different stuff.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. So this was definitely not something that I had even thought was. Obviously, there's metal bands from other countries and things like that, but
Mhm.
this is, again, in all French, very, I keep saying it, but it's very atmospheric.
Well,
metal, and
that's a huge part of
Yeah.
this style for sure.
Yeah, and I dig it a lot. I really enjoy it, and actually was going to start looking at other bands, like Death Heaven.
Deaf Heaven.
Yeah. Started looking into some of that as well because I really did enjoy this. On the lower end of it, it does all kind of, I don't want to say it sounds the same, obviously, because it's a unique sound. Anyways, but it does all kind of not run together, but there aren't very many songs that stand out.
I actually.
It sounds like a really long piece.
It does.
Which isn't a bad thing by any means.
Right. Well, it's actually funny because when I actually gave that to you, like I actually had listened to it in a little while,
Mhm.
so I did
So
listen
you
to it
re-listened
again.
to it, yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah. Like you said, like it's all good,
Mhm.
but like
It seems like a continuation almost.
Yeah.
Like there are very few songs that I think in between Beings of Light and Faiseurs de Mons, that's like a break. Like it doesn't sound like the same. You can tell that they're separate songs. Whereas everything else kind of it's very flowy, again, very atmospheric. I really like the death gaze, like the imagery of that, because it is very like. It's not like introspective. What's the adverse to that? Like
I don't know, like
where you like look at like the grand scheme of things. It's very very big picture.
Yeah, well, and they do something that I've found a couple other bands that I like where it's just whatever they're doing to create the sound that they're making. Because, like I said, it's not just like guitars and drums. Like there's so much depth to it. Like you said,
there's definitely some synth in there. There's like layers to it.
Yeah, and it's really easy to like get lost in it, and that's one of the reasons why I like bands like this where atmosphere is such a big part of it, is because it just like some of it a lot of times it'll sound so foreign. It just sounds like nothing you hear on a day-to-day basis, and it's like.
And it's almost too out there,
right? And it's super interesting, like good or bad. It's just really interesting because it makes me wonder, like how they did it and where they like where they were in their lives.
Their mindset there for
Yeah.
that album.
Yeah. So
And then I will say the very last song, "Summer's Glory," was really, really good too. Probably right up there with Haven's. But like those are the last two songs on the album, and those are the two that I played the most because I just kept going back to those two for whatever reason. I really those two really stood out to me.
well, and funny enough, I think they probably have other people play with them live, but they're basically a duo also.
Okay, did not peep that. So it's two dudes, and then when they play live, they have like an ensemble.
And I actually think all of it's written by one guy.
By one guy.
The vocalist.
Shit.
I know how to spell his
Did
name.
not do my history on this one.
Gotcha. I know how to spell his stage name, but I have no idea how to pronounce it. It's Neige.
Neig. Neige?
Something like
Neige.
that. Neige. Yeah.
Neige, holler at us if you have some input on next review.
Yeah.
Or how to pronounce your name.
Yeah, and your band's
and all of your songs.
and all of your songs.
You could just
Just
teach
give us a
French.
crash course in French would be great.
I did take French a couple years, but it's
Same here. I took it.
trash.
I took it for 2 years in college, and
Same.
it did nothing with it.
Absolutely.
Je parle.
Je parle, yeah.
So please
beautiful.
don't cancel us over. over
We love you, French.
But all in all, would I suggest this to somebody getting into metal? Yes, I would. I would totally suggest this. It's a very easy transition because even if you don't like screaming metal or anything like that, this is really a big sound to come into. It's not. I wouldn't call it polarizing at all. It's again, hate to use it again, but it's very atmospheric. It's
Right.
It's encompassing music, which I think is kind of hard unless you listen to it. But we never give like hard numbers, but I would definitely suggest this to bring it on in. So wrap up this week's episode.
Yeah.
I think we both enjoyed the albums that we gave each other.
Yeah, we'll have to get some. We'll have to get weirder.
We have to get weird. We have to get swifty.
Yeah.
So catch us next week on Mixed Review. Again, I'm Dave.
Brian.
We'll see you guys next time. You know, it's always for the content.
Yeah, it's content. something about content.
It's always for the content.
Yeah. Hashtag.
Hashtag.
There's hashtags.